Yes, this movie left me speechless. Okay, guys, I just got back from watching Godzilla Minus One. Um, I was kind of a little hesitant on this movie. I like a lot of the Godzilla movies. I think the last Godzilla movie I watched that was made in like Japan was Shin Godzilla, because the other ones are made by Legendary, and that's something completely different. Can I just say that I did not expect to like this movie as much as I did. I thought it was gonna be a fun time. Nothing really, just like a big monster. Going into it. I'm actually gonna save you the trouble because I will be getting into spoilers. That is what I do. But I would suggest that you actually watch this movie, because yes, it's 2 hours and 5 minutes long, but with its runtime, I was not really bored, and scenes did not go on very long. And if you're in the mood for a very heartfelt, character-driven monster action movie, this is your movie. So, again, don't watch my review, watch the movie, and then come back to my review. But, this movie, man, so I went into it pretty much blind. I had watched the trailer like months before or whatever, and, so I sat down in the movie theater, and then the beginning happened. And this movie feels like a mix between the original movie from, I believe like 54 or something, and Shin Godzilla. It feels a lot more like Shin Godzilla, and that it's kind of modern day. You can tell with all the filming equipment and stuff. I thought that was really cool. But the beginning, I was watching and I was like, oh wow, it's kind of cool. I'm like, okay, before I get to that, it still goes with the beginning. This movie is my first theater going experience of a non-English language movie. So I have watched movies that I have never, that I are in different languages that I don't understand. I had to read subtitles. This is my first one watching in a theater, and even though it has subtitles in it, it does not take away from it. You can still feel the emotion in their voices. You can still tell their mannerisms and their emotions. It's great. It's really quite fascinating that even though you don't speak their language, you can still understand what's going on. But the beginning was pretty crazy. So, again, spoilers, beware. The beginning, begins with our main character, which I would say his name, but I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to butcher it. But he's basically just like going through, the war, because it's set in the 40s, and a giant monster. He keeps talking about something, and then he's just sitting there, and then you hear this siren go off, and you're like, ooh, what is that? And that's the point where I was like, because I was like sitting in my seat like this, and immediately I got up when I heard the siren. I was like, oh wow. They all start hiding, and then I thought it was so cool how Godzilla just like came right out of the water, and I really am digging the design of the Zilla that they went for. It is like a mix between, I'd say, not much of Legendary, but more like Shin Godzilla, and a little bit of the one from 2000, I believe. I don't know, there's so many Godzilla movies. I really can't keep track of all of them. But it does kind of feel like a mix between those two. Like if you combine one and then the other, and you can put them into one, that's kind of what it feels like. I'm digging the design. And I also like how in the beginning, it's more or less, more small, more juvenile, I'd say. Because it's big, don't get me wrong. But it's not to what it's going to look like towards the later half when it gets hit by something. I still don't know exactly what hit it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention. No, I'm just kidding. But, when it comes out, it's funny because they keep referring to it as like a big prehistoric dinosaur, and that's kind of what it does. I mean, it just goes around chomping on people, flipping up, and going around like, wow. Like, when it started eating everybody, and then the guy, our main character, he's like struggling to shoot the monster, I was like, oh my god. Wow. And everyone's just getting decimated, and it's the one guy and the main character. And of course, the one guy has everyone dead in front of him. Just like after our guy gets knocked out, and then he's just laying on the beach, and he wakes up in the morning. Also like how we get more development, and that is something that I don't believe much Godzilla movies do. Some do it better than others. If I had to pick a better character development between Shin Godzilla, which is the only one I can really compare it to because it's the ones that are so similar, then I would have to pick Godzilla Minus One, because there's a lot more, because our character actually goes through a whole lot more stuff, like where he's just like so afraid to go after the creature that killed his men, killed the people he was working with. I was like, that is pretty traumatizing. And I like throughout the movie he keeps having this thing going on with him. You know, he's like quite afraid. Like he's still afraid of this giant creature, a prehistoric creature as he calls it. And throughout the movie he keeps getting more and more confident, I say, towards the later half when has people. Before that all happens, there's also like a person there that also has this child that isn't theirs, but the parents died, and it's a whole thing, and the way it works, again, so much goes into it, and it's great because he thinks whenever Godzilla ends up coming in there and starts destroying, like you think the legendary monsters were bad? No, man, this thing is picking up trains, destroying things, destroying a whole bunch of buildings. Like, that little city that they had is nothing. It falls on just like atomic breath, and it destroys everything in the area. And then you think that this person who, it almost seems like it's gonna be like his wife, you know, apparently dies. Again, you know, you're still in the spoiler part. She doesn't actually die, but I will say at the end, there was like some pulsating, nasty thing on her neck, which I thought could have been a result of the radiation that she probably got hit with. You know, the atomic blast and all that stuff that just hit her. And it's really great the way that after he thinks that she dies, then he's just alone with this child, and then he gives it to this woman who we've seen her in the movie, and he leaves, and he's dead set on killing Godzilla because everything that he does. And I like how, and yes, you have Legendary, and I love Legendary, I love their movies, and I love their Godzilla, but it doesn't seem like he's actually a villain. This Godzilla here, my man's out for blood. Like, he's just going around killing people for no reason, which, you know, of course people want to kill him. And to the point that this man overcomes everything he's done, and it's a parallel to the beginning of the movie when he couldn't shoot the creature, but eventually they get this custom plane that they set, and it's going to basically kill Godzilla. And I love the way that the way it happens, really, because this man really, he thinks he has nothing left just to kill a creature because he never killed it back then, and he feels like it's a responsibility for him. Again, very, very character driven and very good. And eventually he overcomes everything with all these characters looking around, and you're like, this man's gonna do it. He's going to kill Zilla. And I love the way that all of the people, like, almost like the entire little country that they have just ends, or left of them, or the men there, they all find a way to trap Godzilla, and they try to sink him down. And I mean, come on, if you're in the theater and there's a few more minutes left, he's not gonna go down easy. And boy ends up coming back, and he's like all frozen and stuff, and he's about to shoot his atomic breath, but then the main character, he ends up coming in with like this plane, and he shoots it right into Zilla's mouth and just blows his head, which was really cool. I like that. I like how his head was like almost like half of it was like left. It was basically all but like the jaw, and like the plane was like crushed. I was so surprised that they did not kill him off, though. I was pretty shocked, actually. But yeah, that was that's basically really the movie, though. And I don't know, but I do think that they can do a Godzilla minus 2 or something. I mean, I don't know what minus 1 means, but they could definitely do a sequel, because they teased it where he's because also he has a wicked healing factor too, which is crazy. He ends up almost like left of his face or something, or I don't remember, it was like a chunk of him basically he starts like reforming, and I'm like, wow, that was pretty cool. So sequel baiting potentially. I guess we'll see how well this movie does, but I enjoy the movie a lot more than my expectations were relatively mid. I wasn't expecting much. I walked out of the theater not even caring that I had to read subtitles the whole movie, not even caring that, I don't know, not much, but just how cool I thought this movie was with handling its Godzilla, and it was really dope, actually, and I quite enjoy it. Yeah, hopefully it does get a sequel, though, because it would be kind of cool to see the remaining characters from this movie and the next one, because this Godzilla, I think he made a name for himself. So yeah, I don't really have much else to talk about. I think this movie's really cool, would recommend it, and that's about it. I enjoyed it, and I think you will too, and I guess until then, guys, I'll see y'all later. Bye.